Now at 6, changes to the food tax in Kansas create some confusion. We take a look at how one business has made adjustments. Plus, Missouri lawmakers set out their priorities for this voting session. And it's not exactly the season for swimming, but the city of Pittsburgh has already put out the call for more lifeguards.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's Axe the Food Tax plan advances to the next phase, lowering food tax from 4% to 2%. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The first phase of the plan reduced the food sales tax from 6% to 4%. That was a year ago. It also classified what is unprepared food, which caused confusion among some businesses. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has been following the story and joins us in the studio now with an update.
Thanks, Dow. A year ago, I spoke with Circles Pecan and Country Store in Macomb about their confusion with the classification of unprepared food. But today, I spoke with them to see how they adjusted as the tax drops again.
Once we got everything, all the bugs worked out and figured out what was qualifiable and what was not, everything went relatively easily. It sure would have been a lot nicer to have a little more support from Department of Revenue, but we got it all figured out.
Circles Pecans and Country Stores sells a mixture of prepared and unprepared food. The biggest issue for them was sorting through inventory to see which items qualified for the reduced tax.
It was just that initial shock to the system that we all had to experience that was so hard and so difficult to understand. But now that we have everything in the system, it's just a matter of adjusting the tax percentage rate, and it retabulates throughout the rest of our product inventory.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly, who has championed their tax reduction, says it will continue putting money back in the pockets of every Kansan, $150 million just this year.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's always happy with a reduced tax, but the fact that Kansas is moving towards the reduced tax and eventually the tax exempt on a lot of their food items, that makes everybody fairly happy.
The food sales tax is set to be eliminated altogether in January of next year. Dow, back to you.
Amber Jenkins, thanks. The Joplin City Health Department announces a contract with the state to continue providing WIC services for the 2024 federal fiscal year. WIC is Supplemental Nutrition Program, providing services to pregnant women, new mothers, infants, and children up to their 5th birthday. To be eligible for WIC, applicants must have an income of not more than 185% of the poverty level and be at nutritional risk. For information, including how to apply, go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri's 5-month annual legislative session began today, and top Republican leaders say passing more laws directed at LGBTQ people is not a priority. Bills filed this session in Missouri would make public drag shows a crime, require teachers to notify parents if students express confusion about their gender, and put limits on what books are available to minors in public and school libraries. But Republican House and Senate leaders indicate they will not focus on those proposals. One issue that will be a priority, a plan to make it harder to amend the Missouri Constitution. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. A cold, frosty start with the afternoon. Pretty good. We saw a decent amount of sunshine. Dropping back now. Roads are dry. Temperatures are sitting right around 14 degrees. Let's see, is that better? We're good now? All right, so temperatures right around 40 degrees outside for us, but we are dry. Temps are going to drop back through the 30s and then eventually into the upper 20s later on tonight. Here's our next storm system. This is a moderate storm system. This is going to head toward us as we head into Friday morning, accumulating snow across the region. Now, until then, we look good. We slide back through the 30s. Of course, we're tracking that next storm system on Friday, a bigger system on Monday and Tuesday, more rain and snow chances. We're going to break it all down for you here in just a little bit.
See you soon. Fire crews in Jasper County last night responded to a house fire on County Road 105, just north of Gum Road near Carthage. Neighbors report significant damage to the home, but everyone inside did make it out safely. Authorities say utilities were cut while fighting the blaze, and that family has been displaced. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announced today that more than $4.6 million in federal funds will go to the first 6 locations selected for the state's National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula Program, or NEVI. The selected locations will fill gaps in EV charging stations along the state's major highways and interstate system. The 2 charging stations in our area will be at Pete's in Cherokee and Pete's in Fredonia. Swimming, not exactly on a lot of people's minds right now, but it is for the city of Pittsburgh. The city has already put out the call for lifeguards and other pool personnel in an effort to fill the gaps that were left unfilled in 2023. According to the Pittsburgh Parks and Recreation Department, the problem isn't just a local one.
There's a national lifeguard shortage, and what we want to do is make sure we're ready for the public, and we want to make sure we're open on May 24th, which is the Friday before Labor Day. That's when we're going to open. We need roughly 35 to 40 staff to be able to open this, and if we don't start now, we'll end up with not enough staff to.
Even though this call has gone out early, Cecil says a lot of the lifeguards who were there last year have gotten in touch with the Parks and Rec Department. Later in sports, a triple threat standout athlete signs his letter of commitment to a local community college. John's going to have details in just a few minutes, but first.
Missouri, we're speaking with health experts about what trends they're seeing and what you should do to keep yourself and your family protected. I'm Anthony Saviello. I'll have more coming up.
Cases of COVID and the flu are on the rise in our area. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with health officials about the trends they're seeing.
After 4 years, COVID is still a consistent issue throughout the U.S. The case is no different for the 4-state area. Officials at the Newton County Health Department have noted not only a spike in COVID.
Well, we were at a very low number, less than 10 people in the county just a couple of months ago, and now we are at about 70 people in the county. So we have seen an upswing in COVID numbers.
But the flu as well.
The last report I saw was about 4 cases in the county. Last week we had about 18.
Mercy Hospital of Joplin also noted a similar spike in cases. COVID cases hitting their highest level since the beginning of 2023, as well as a spike of influenza cases. But why are these spikes happening?
Probably due to holiday seasons, people getting together with family and friends and gatherings.
Another reason could also be a low percentage of vaccination reports. The CDC reports that the highest percentage of those in our area with their up-to-date COVID booster is Labette County, Kansas, at only 12.7%. Jasper and Newton counties all fall under 10% of those who are up to date on vaccinations.
Vaccination is the best way to stay protected, but also those standard procedures, especially washing your hands, covering your nose and mouth when you cough or sneeze, staying indoors if there's a lot of sickness in the community. Those type of things certainly do help.
Though 2024 has just begun, that COVID-19 is still here. It's still around, and it's still causing issues. Though symptoms may be mild, it's still important to take precautions and to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Reporting in Newton County, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
A little later, KDOT already begins warming up the trucks in preparation to clear the streets for the possibility of any upcoming snow.
And we are tracking 2 storm systems that could give us snow. Of course, I'm going to give you those details coming up next. Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Cold, frosty start, but the afternoon, sunny skies, temperatures pretty good across the region as most of us went into the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. Nice shot right now. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. This is downtown Joplin, so we're looking off toward the north and to the east. A little bit of a breeze, but overall it looks great. Roads are dry. We're going to stay dry as we go through the overnight hours, but it is going to be another frosty start in the morning. Clear skies, slide back through the 30s into the upper 20s for us later on tonight, but we're quiet. Not much is going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains looking pretty good. Let's go out to our next storm system, a moderate storm system from Nevada, Utah, all the way down through parts of Arizona. This guy will start to affect us by Friday morning. Even a stronger storm system right behind it, right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. First, we get this wave, which is going to roll in here in about 30 to 36 hours. All right, day planner for you tomorrow. Looks okay. Sunshine in the morning, clouds increase during the afternoon, high temps, upper 40s to near 50 degrees. So overall, not too bad. Chilly start, upper 20s, a little bit of fog, northern counties, and then watch the mid and upper level clouds increase as we go into the afternoon. But tomorrow looks fine. Clouds thicken tomorrow night. Let's move all the way into 3 a.m. Friday morning. Look at the light snow flurries starting to increase. Now, I want you to notice the temperatures. We're sitting 30, 31, 32 degrees. So that means the earlier this snow gets in, the more troubles it will give us on the roadways. But I'm not expecting a ton of issues. This is going to be light to moderate snow increasing here. 7, 8 a.m. This band lifts through. It's mainly going to be out of here by the early afternoon hours. So here's the noon hours, still light snow, but also recognize the temperatures. We're sitting mid 30s at this point in time. The entire band lifts off toward the north as we get into Friday afternoon. So anything that does fall pretty much melts. High temperature sitting right around 40 degrees by the time we head into Friday afternoon. And then Friday night, a few random little sprinkles, showers, maybe a couple flurries all the way into Saturday morning. All right, snowfall potential. Again, most of this is going to be on the grassy surfaces, and most of us, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Miami, Carthage, and Neosho, are under that dusting upwards to an inch. Now, once you get a little farther west, Iola, Chanute, Parsons, Independence, 1 to 2 inches, and then our western counties, Yates Center, probably 2 to 3 inches of snow. So that's where the impacts are going to be a little bit worse. So we'll make the snow impacts kind of medium, moderate level, just because we are going to have some slushy roads out there Friday morning. But the bigger system rolls in on Monday. Look at this, rain, but our northern counties could be very heavy snow all the way through the system, but everybody will switch over to snow by the time we get into Tuesday morning. That system has the bigger potential to drop several inches, especially our northern counties could be many, many inches of snow. So we're going to be really watching that. 49 tomorrow, 42 on Friday, snow over to rain. Few leftover showers Saturday. Sunday looks good. Rain on Monday. Moderate to heavy snow Monday night into Tuesday, and turning colder.
I have my own prediction. I'm thinking next week a lot of school kids in particular are going to be keeping a close eye on your weather forecast.
Yeah, absolutely.
See if there'll be some cancellations.
There you go.
Thanks, Douglas. However the weather shapes up in the coming days, the Kansas Department of Transportation says it's been preparing for months. Its drivers are put through an intense training that prepares them to drive the trucks and maintain them while on the road in less than ideal circumstances. KDOT says being proactive is essential, and when winter conditions like snow and ice make their way to the 4 states, the first line of defense usually means salt before the plows even make it out of the garage. Still ahead, a McDonald County standout athlete commits to a college right here in the 4 states, and a former Pitt State wide receiver enters the transfer portal for the second time in as many years. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Destin Dowd has been a fixture of the 4-state sports scene for the past several years. That won't be changing anytime soon. The McDonald County High School senior announces he's committing to Coffeyville Community College. According to his Twitter, Dowd will be joining Coffeyville Community College's baseball program. At McDonald County, he's been a 3-sport athlete. He's a utility player that was part of the Mustangs baseball team, which made a run to a district championship game this past spring. We also saw him play for the McDonald County basketball team just last night against Webb City. And Dowd was the starting quarterback for the Mustang football team, which won a district championship and made a run to the state quarterfinals this fall. As of midnight this morning, the transfer portal is officially closed for college football players. Several names familiar to the 4 states have either left or joined new teams in the past couple of days. Starting first with Christian Carter, the former Pittsburgh State wide receiver, first entered the portal last year after compiling 51 receptions and just under 700 receiving yards with the Gorillas in 2022. He transferred to Memphis, going D2 to D1, but he only played 4 games and had 2 catches in the entire 2023 season with the Tigers. Carter announces that he's back in the transfer portal again as he enters his final season of NCAA eligibility. Elsewhere, former Arkansas starting quarterback KJ Jefferson has a new home. The 3-year starter for the Razorbacks is transferring to Central Florida, where he'll play for former Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn. According to recruiting website On3, Miami and TCU were also in the mix to land Jefferson. Meanwhile, former Kansas State starting quarterback Will Howard, he's still in the transfer portal, but some big news on his recruiting trail. According to Pete Thamel of ESPN, Howard will take an official visit to Ohio State in the upcoming days. He's already visited Miami and USC and is also considering entering the NFL draft. Now, a lot of you might be asking, what exactly is the transfer portal? What does it mean for it to be closed? Well, it's a database that allows student athletes to withdraw their name from the school they attend and lets coaches see who's in the pool of transfer players. As of this morning at midnight, the transfer portal is closed, meaning players can't enter their name in it anymore, but those who played in a bowl game get a 5-day extension. It opens again in April, and graduates can enter or exit anytime they please. Most importantly, though, it's private, meaning that the public can't see who's in or out of the portal unless the student athletes choose to share that info themselves. And the NFL announces today that Chiefs place kicker Harrison Butker is the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. This is after he connected on 6 of 6 field goals in Kansas City's 25-17 win over the Bengals. That included a 54-yarder. It's Butker's 5th Player of the Week award. His first since 2020, he's 31 of 33 on field goal attempts this season and a perfect 37 of 37 on extra points. As the playoffs approach, anybody having a reliable kicker is a huge advantage.
That's true. Chiefs fans would have liked to see more of those scoring opportunities become touchdowns.
Yeah, true.
But still, 6 field goals.
Pretty good.
That is impressive. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Tomorrow is World Braille Day. We're going to find out what resources are available for the blind and visually impaired in Joplin. Plus, lawmakers debate over funding for border security after a record-breaking month of migrants, and a look at the developments in the field of artificial intelligence and robots we can expect in 2024. Those stories, a lot more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Artificial intelligence and robots.
Yeah,
A little bit scary.
I know.
They're coming for our jobs, guys.
They are.
But in the meantime, we're going to rely on a human being to tell us about the weather.
We are, and tonight's going to be cold. We're going to drop back into the mid-20s again. 49 tomorrow, and then tracking bands of light snow rolling in by Friday morning.
Final sports notes.
Andy Reid says today that Patrick Mahomes will not play on Sunday against the Chargers.
Yeah, nothing to play for, really.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.